live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Tonight, witness called by the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, at the election petition court accuses INEC of deleting results captured on all BVAS machines inspected. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar hints of renewed vigor in the fight against insurgency in the country as he assumes office at the Air Force headquarters in Abuja. Nigeria is ready for business. The president assures foreign investors at the ongoing summit for new global financing pact in Paris, says ongoing reforms, economic reforms that is, will be sustained. And members on board the Titan submarine that went missing on Sunday while on the dive to the wreck of the Titanic, presumed dead.
On business news tonight, Debt Management Office warns against additional borrowing, says high debt service to revenue ratio is unsustainable.
On sports news tonight, the International Olympic Committee withdraws its recognition of boxing's governing body, the IBA, but the sport will be in the next 2 successive Olympic Games.
From Abuja, the nation's capital, Nigerian physicians in the United States received commendation from the mayor of New York for their professionalism and enhancement of community life in the country.
We begin with the presidential election petition court in Abuja, where a witness called by the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar today accused the electoral umpire of deleting results on all the bimodal voter accreditation system he inspected. Mr. Hitler Wana tendered a forensic report arising from the conduct of the February 25th presidential election, but admitted that he did not inspect all the BVAS machines. The INEC lawyer, Abubakar Mahmood, stated that going by the 110 BVAS devices inspected by the witness, only 0.069% of the machines deployed nationwide were inspected. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, reports.
Lawyers for the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, INEC and the All Progressive Congress and President Bola Tinubu are back at the Presidential Election Petition Court for the continuation of hearing in the petitions challenging the victory of President Bola Tinubu. The day's proceedings gets underway with the petition of the PDP, who calls a digital forensic analyst, Mr. Hilton Wala, the 26th witness of the party. Led in evidence by the lead counsel to the party, Mr. Chris Uche, the witness told the court that results from the 110 BVAS machines he inspected were deleted by INEC. When he was cross-examined by the counsel to INEC, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood, the witness said he attached a standard device used for such an exercise to the machine to arrive at the conclusion with the authority of the commission. However, Mr. Mahmood informs him that the 110 machines he inspected are just 3.4% of the 3,163 machines that were deployed in the FCT and 0.06% of BVAS machines deployed nationwide. The witness also rejected an attempt by INEC's counsel to make him assess a BVAS machine in court. Counsel to President Tinubu, Mr. Wale Olanikpekun, also confronted the witness by questioning a portion of his report, where he said that from his inspection of the machines, nothing was wrong with them. Mr. Olanikpekun asked him how he knew that there was nothing wrong with the machines, since he was not in Abuja on the day of the presidential election. After the witness was discharged, the petitioners went further to tender forms EC8A series from 20 local government areas in Ogun State, 17 local government areas in Ondo State, 27 local government areas in Jigawa State, and 20 local government areas in Rivers State.
As part of our strategy today, we called a very vital witness, a digital forensic expert. And you remember that this is the very first time we are having a technology-driven presidential elections in Nigeria. So the evidence that this witness has profiled today, a witness who examined the beavers machines used, is very, very vital.
Next is the petition of the Labour Party. The party calls a cybersecurity expert, Chibuike Ogwoke, who insinuated that the Amazon Web Service could not have shut down as it was the responsibility of the service provider to be up and running. The service is the host of the INEC results viewing portal where the election results were being uploaded. However, the cybersecurity expert points out that some uploads on the portal are incorrect, such as a picture of a book rather than a result. He argues that the chances of errors being detected after the deployment of an application are negligible. Hearing in the petitions have been adjourned to Friday for continuation. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
Away from the courts, Nigerians may expect to see a renewed vigor in the fight against terrorism, going by the assurances coming from the newly appointed Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar. Air Vice Marshal Abubakar is promising that the armed forces are building a synergy to combat all forms of security threats in the country. He said that most of the new service chiefs are from the same Course 39, which he believes will boost collaboration among the armed forces. He stated this after taking over from his predecessor, Air Vice Marshal Oladayo Amao, at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja.
So much has been achieved in all spheres of the Air Force: operations and training, logistics, administration, regimentation, and discipline. We have recorded a lot of achievements, including research and development, safety. In all aspects of the Air Force, we have had tremendous achievements. My task is to leverage on these achievements and see what we can bring on board to further take the Air Force to the next higher pedestal. One of the very important achievements of the past CDS and the service chiefs was that they were able to cooperate a lot and carry out operations jointly. And that resulted in a lot of achievements operationally. Maybe you're aware, myself, the Chief of the Naval Staff, and the Chief of the Army Staff are all mates. And what we are going to do is to build on this jointness, build on this cooperation, and I think it's going to be much easier for us. So I assure Nigerians that you should expect much better performance. We intend in the nearest future to eradicate all issues affecting our security and safety. So in the near future, we are going to be working jointly, cooperating all the services to make sure that Nigerians have a very peaceful, prosperous, and democratically functioning country.
In the meantime, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, is asking officers and men of the Nigeria Police to remain professional and live above board in the discharge of their professional duties. He gave this charge while decorating some senior police officers, including former police spokesperson, Mr. Frank Mba, and former police commissioners in charge of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Bala Chiroma, who were promoted to Deputy Inspectors General of Police.
The peacekeeping hall of the force headquarters is filled to capacity as senior officers of the Nigeria Police Force and their family members witness the decoration of some newly promoted officers. It is the first official assignment of the Acting Inspector General of Police, and he has a charge for the officers and men.
It is our desire that this promotion will not only serve as a source of motivation to deserving officers, but will also engender personnel to rededicate themselves to the attainment of our policing mandates. It is my belief that all the newly promoted officers will deploy their vast knowledge and experience to support the efforts towards reshaping the image of the Nigerian police force.
The police boss is not the only one with a charge. Dignitaries and the former Inspector General of Police urged the officers and men to remain professional in the discharge of their duties.
To whom much is given, much is required. It is a call on you to stand firm in line with the zeal of the current administration being led by President Bola Tinubu to ensure the challenges we are facing in this country in terms of security is dealt with decisively.
There is no doubt that the rejigging and promotion of serving police officers in the Nigerian police force is in accord with the renewed hope mantra of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's administration.
Will be assigned responsibilities that are above where you were before, and therefore you need to put your best so that Nigerians can sleep with their two eyes closed. If not, they should be able to go about their lawful businesses.
One after the other, the officers step up for their decoration.
From the southeastern region of this country, number one decorating.
2 Deputy Inspectors General of Police, 14 Assistant Inspectors General of Police, and 22 police commissioners were also decorated during the ceremony.
Outside the country shows the president is urging investors to take advantage of opportunities in Nigeria, promising that ongoing economic reforms, which include the removal of fuel subsidy and streamlining of the exchange rate, will be sustained. President Bola Tinubu stated this today when he received the president and chairman of the board of directors of the African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Orama, as well as president of European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, Odile Renaud Basso, separately on the sidelines of the Summit for a New Global Financing Pact in Paris. According to the president, Nigeria must stimulate recovery for the growth and prosperity of the people, and the country is ready for global business. The president's special advisor on communications and strategy, Mr. Dele Alake, also spoke to Channels Television on the president's engagements at the summit.
Nigeria is now the focus globally of investors. Corporate financial institutions all over the world are now very excited about Nigeria, and specifically about the fast-paced, dynamic, progressive policies, economic policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last 3 weeks. And in Paris here, a lot of them have been showing interest. Even those who exited Nigeria now are encouraged to come back to Nigeria. And the essence of this meeting, why the president is attending, is to network extensively with developed societies, donor agencies, financial institutions, and foreign investors, with a view to inviting and really encouraging direct foreign investment back into Nigeria. And the encouragement has been really great. The enthusiasm of these corporate institutions and financial institutions on Nigeria, and particularly on Nigeria's recent economic policies, have been very, very tremendous.
Meanwhile, the presidency has been reacting to reports of a 114% increase in the salaries of the president, vice president, elected federal and state political office holders, and judicial officers. In a statement, the president's special advisor on special duties, communications and strategy, Mr. Dele Alake, explained that such proposal has not been brought before the president. He described the reports credited to the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission as misinformation. Mr. Alake, however, acknowledged that although it is within the constitutional powers of the Commission to propose and fix salaries and allowances of political office holders and judicial officers, such cannot come to effect until it has equally been considered and approved by the President. In the words of the presidential spokesperson, the misinformation was obviously contrived to create ill will for the new administration, slow down the upward momentum and massive goodwill the Tinubu-led administration is currently enjoying among Nigerians as a result of its fast-paced, dynamic and progressive policies. He urged members of the public to disregard reports on government activities and policy issues that do not emanate from approved official communication channels. In part 2 after the break, African Democratic Congress unveils its deputy governorship candidate for the November 11th election in Kogi State. To join us again.
Have you heard? Momo is turning 12 people who refer the highest number of friends into millionaires in the Momo Refer and Win promo. There is also over 200 million naira up for grabs. How do you win? Dial *671# to open a Momo account if you don't have one. Then select option 6 to refer everyone you know. Yes, I said everyone, because everyone deserves to be a millionaire. Make sure the person you refer opens a Momo account and buys airtime or data of at least 100 naira. The more people you refer, the more cash prizes you win every week. And you increase your chance of becoming a millionaire in the Momo Refer and Win promo. Promo runs from 15th June to 9th August 2023. Momo, better than cash.
I am my roots. From the time of my birth, I started soaking in the essence of my people. Our values, our way of life.
My culture is me. It is the poetry in my equal way.
My roots are sacred, like the beauty that is in the Etigi, the call of the talking drum. I am many things to my people, but my roots stay the same. I am what came before, and I am what comes next. I am deeply rooted. Origin, my roots, my power.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
Discover Lipton's flavorful and balanced taste. We pick fine quality tea leaves with selected tea gardens around the world to give you Lipton Yellow Label's flavorful and balanced taste in every sip.
Good morning.
My life is a whole lot easier now, even when I'm working from home. I still get everything done.
Workout track.
And faster too. Guys, I'll make my decision and get back to you. I take my meetings uninterrupted. Video call Catherine.
Calling Catherine.
Checking with Bay. No cracks.
Go, go, go. Behind you, behind you.
And when it's time to bond with my friends across the globe, I connect seamlessly, all thanks to my Airtel router.
Delivery is here.
Thank you. Be like me. Stay connected always with the Airtel home broadband.
Who are you talking to?
It's nothing.
You're talking to me?
No.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
When malaria won't show power for your side, it gon' knock you down. I'm a them soft gel.
There you are.
Like I tell you, no say, malaria medicine we don't get bad taste. Oh, bad taste for mouth. And it's easy to swallow. Try. I got red game changer. I'm a them soft gel.
Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
Trust does not come cheap. It's a word you can bank on, the efficiency you can trade with. Trust should be what you demand and what every partner should give. Trust is the insight you base your business decision on. Trust should give your dreams wings, taking you above and beyond your borders. You have to trust your gut and trust that your dreams are valid. In our world of corporate and investment banking, trust is a big word. A word that guides and leads our commitment to your growth and that of your business. Go for growth with your trusted partner.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the News at 10 coming to you live from Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Witness called by the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, at the election petition court accuses INEC of deleting results captured on all BVAS machines inspected. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar, hints of renewed vigor in the fight against insurgency in the country as he assumes office at the Air Force headquarters in Abuja. Nigeria is ready for business. The president assures foreign investors at the ongoing summit for new global finance and pact in Paris. Says ongoing economic reforms will be sustained. And members on board the Titan submersible that went missing on Sunday while on a dive to the wreck of the Titanic, presumed dead. Now to politics. The candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in the upcoming Kogi State governorship election, Mr. Leke Abejide, is promising to invest in education, agriculture, healthcare delivery, as well as wealth creation if given the mandate to serve the state. He was speaking during the unveiling of his running mate, Dr. Idris Omede, at the party secretariat in Lokoja, the state capital. He appeals to his supporters to work towards enthroning an ADC government in the state.
ADC.
Members and loyalists of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, gather at the party secretariat in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital, for the unveiling of the ADC deputy governorship candidate, Dr. Idris Omede.
In Kogi State, you are most welcome, sir.
The governorship candidate of the ADC in Kogi State, Mr. Leke Abejide, unveils his running mate in the person of the former national president of the NMA, Dr. Idris Omede. He accepts the honor and promises to run an all-inclusive administration with Mr. Abejide if elected come November 2023.
And I want to beseech each and every one of us, far and near, to look beyond party basis, look beyond party affiliation. Party is a vehicle to deliver good products. Here, we believe we have a good product here, and irrespective of your party, come out, decamp into the party, decamp into ADC, and vote Team Leke and Omede as the next governor and deputy governor.
Delivering his keynote address at the occasion, Mr. Leke Abejide assures the people of Kogi State of his commitment to create wealth and ensure food security through massive investment in agriculture as well.
Our government is going to focus majorly education, which you know me for. The issue of health, we are going to tackle it headlong. And then we'll make sure all these hospitals are equipped with modern hospital equipment. And we will bring doctors, qualified ones, not quacks, that will man these hospitals and make sure that our people enjoy robust health.
As all political parties move around Kogi State to woo the electorate, the ADC and its candidates believe they have what it takes to unseat the ruling APC and move into government house. The 2023 general elections may have come and gone. Some election observers have continued to look at ways of making the process more credible. One of them is the Executive Director, Partnership for Electoral Reforms, Mr. Ezenwa Wagu, who is proposing a review of the current system for the appointment of resident electoral commissioners, national commissioners, and university professors as returning officers during elections. Mr. Wagu made his recommendations at a news conference in Abuja, where he said that there are lessons to be drawn from the 2023 polls, even though many were not satisfied with some aspects of the conduct. The Vice President says Nigeria is fighting the war on diseases, and conspiracy theorists determined to hijack interventions aimed at ensuring adequate healthcare delivery at local levels. According to the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, all hands must be on deck to ensure this war is won. He was speaking at a closed-door meeting at the banquet hall of the State House, Abuja, with members of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Dangote Foundation, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Our State House correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
Again, the State House in Abuja plays host to American billionaire Bill Gates, who's accompanied by his host, Vice President Kashim Shettima, as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in collaboration with the Dangote Foundation, are seeking areas of collaboration with the federal and state governments to improve quality and access to healthcare in Nigeria.
I would like to call on all of you to put human capital development on top of your list. It is very, very important to have it on top of the list. Together, using this unique platform, you can collaborate closely and make investments and policies that will ensure that our people have health and opportunity.
Subnationals are quick to identify areas where previous collaborations have yielded positive results, especially the primary healthcare under one roof approach. However, they appreciate the foundation for the efforts made so far.
I can remember the certain declaration that you urged us to do primary healthcare under one roof, involving the community engagement and governance. So it is a governance issue. Managing scarce resources to do so much. As we work towards recovery and further building the resilience of our people in Borno State, following the devastating impact of Boko Haram insurgency, I'd like to specifically request for your more support towards improving agriculture, working directly with smallholder farmers and government and national NGOs that are not afraid to go to where poor people live.
The Vice President is appreciative of collaborations like this and its impact, especially on the effort to eradicate polio by the end of this year. However, he notes the challenges affecting healthcare delivery in Nigeria.
This gathering isn't only a celebration of our progressive synergy to end vaccine-preventable diseases and poverty. It is also a triumph over the disinformation and skepticism that have failed the campaign to build a healthier nation. We are not only fighting diseases, but also countering the conspiracy theories of those committed to hijacking our interventions. Our inspiration to remain on track is the millions of people who will die needlessly because of mischief mongers embarked on a war against science.
We're told that this is the first in a series of meetings between the Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Dangote Foundation, as well as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, all in an attempt to overhaul Nigeria's healthcare system. Many of the states represented at today's event are still dealing with issues like polio and cholera. And even though we've been told that no financial commitments have been made at today's meeting, it is hoped that subsequent meetings will ensure that healthcare delivery, especially at the state level, gets to every single citizen. From the Banquet Hall of State House in Abuja, Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
It's that time where we head to the nation's capital, and Victor Matthias is standing by at our Abuja studio. Hello, Victor.
Hello, Ayatunde. Welcome to the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, let's begin with some cheery news coming from outside the shores of the country in New York, United States, where the city's mayor has been applauding the contribution of the Nigerian community in the city. The occasion was the welcome reception at this year's Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas annual convention held near Times Square in New York. The association represents the professional interest of over 4,000 medical professionals in the Americas. Our correspondent, Maria Bird, has more.
All the LOC members, we have planned a series of...
The Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas hosts its 28th annual convention in New York City.
New York was hit really hard during COVID. We lost ample members. We sacrificed for the city, and the mayor is recognizing us for that.
To welcome the 110th mayor of
the welcome receptions addressed by New York City Mayor Eric Adams was warmly received as he welcomed the attendees to New York City and urged the Nigerian medical practitioners in the United States not to ignore the various medical challenges that are confronting our communities. He said the moment is not about elevating the mayor, but rather it is about using their professional expertise to help.
And to my physicians who are in the room, all of you are prominent in medical professions. There are too many medical crises in our community for us to have aspired to get to this level and ignore what is happening around mental health. what's happening around healthcare, what's happening around diabetes, illnesses, and what we're going through. It's time for us to seize this moment that we are in. That is what this moment is about. The moment is not about elevating Eric to be mayor. The moment is about elevating our community and the things that we deserve and the things that we fought for.
He also thanked all members of the Nigerian medical community in America and Africans in the diaspora for their contributions to public safety and their work toward making the world a safe place for all.
Association of Nigerian Physicians in the America today, acknowledging what you have done and what you will continue to do, really proud of the African diaspora and what you are doing in so many ways. You believe in family, you believe in education, you believe in business, you believe in public safety. We are aligned. Let's continue to make this city a place where prosperity reigns.
The welcome reception was the preamble to the 28th convention, which is slated to include action-focused lectures, leadership lessons, meetings focusing on health equity and the challenges the association is charged to address. From New York City, Maria Bird, Channel Television News.
Now, still ahead on the news at 10, Debt Management Office warns against additional borrowing by the federal government, says high debt service to revenue ratio is unsustainable. That's in business news. Do join us again.
Sometimes it's not just the distance we travel. It's the gaps we close. It's not the things we buy. It's the memories we create. Sometimes it's beyond the places we go. It's the connections we make. Not just the things we taste. It's the taste of things to come. And it's never a question of if, but when. Because life is always just a bit better with American Express. Introducing the Access Bank American Express Gold Card and the Metal Platinum Card, now available through Access Bank.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Grandma.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to see the gorillas in Rwanda. Then, I watched the Cup final in London with the family. And on Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt dragons again. Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space. And you? Yes, so Grandma.
With Airtel 5G's lightning fast speeds and seamless connectivity, you won't believe what's next.
You and your hair go through a lot. The heat, rain, chaos. It's a non-stop war against total breakdown. But just like you, your hair can stay strong no matter what. Mega Growth Break-Free Daily Leave-In Strengthener for all hair types is infused with a unique blend of natural oils and conditioning proteins that helps protect your hair. Mega Growth Break-Free, your daily defense against breakage.
Here's to the born hustlers, to the intentional ones, to the tireless nourishers, to the odd defiers, to those who break through the limits, to those who always go for it.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now, Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefa says his administration will introduce reforms that will lead to the transformation of all sectors of the state's economy to make it competitive with other states of the Federation. The governor made this known when he paid an unscheduled visit to the State Secretariat, Specialist Hospital and School of Nursing and Midwifery in Jalingo, the state capital. He said the visit revealed poor infrastructural facilities, poor remuneration, and poor environment for the workers.
Governor Agbu Kefa is paying an unscheduled visit to the engine room of civil service, the state's secretariat, established since 1992 without a renovation, to know the staff strength of the state. He is pleased that as early as 8 a.m., civil servants are already in their offices, but unhappy at the lack of direction.
This visit is unscheduled, but you can see that almost all the offices, the staffs are there. They are willing to work, but they need a drive, a direction. So I'm doing everything possible. Their salaries will be paid, and all these incentives, things that are necessary to make them function. We'll make sure we'll do our part.
He departs for the State Specialist Hospital, where he was conducted round the secondary health facility. He is concerned and wants to know firsthand the state of facilities at the hospital, staff salaries and personnel. It appears it all comes to the fore at the Taraba State School of Nursing and Midwifery, where the governor couldn't hold back his dismay at the dilapidated and abandoned structures he has come to see.
So it is our responsibility as a government to make things work. So there will be reform, and we're going to sit down. That's why you see the speaker is here with some of the members of the House of Assembly. We'll all sit down together. Taraba is our state. We'll rebuild things together. So that is what we are doing right now.
The Taraba state government is looking to meet with traditional rulers and other stakeholders to work out avenues to make the state more secure and socio-economically stable.
And as part of its corporate social responsibility efforts, the MTN Foundation has commissioned physics, chemistry and biology laboratories at all-girls school in Lagos. That's the Queen's College. According to the chairman of the foundation, Mr. Julius Adelusi Adelui, the remodeling of the laboratories for the school is part of MTN Foundation's commitment to the development of the educational sector in Nigeria.
The commissioning of the remodeled science laboratories at the renowned all-girls secondary school in Lagos, Queen's College. MTN Foundation management invited guests as well as the school management, and the students gather in the school hall for the ceremony. While Queen's College is known to have maintained a track record of long-lasting academic excellence over the years, the foundation says it is one of the criteria it considered in investing in the project for the school.
It is in recognition of the fulfillment of the criteria that we set up. It's also in recognition of the fact that you, as Queen's College, have on the board a representative who is articulate, strategic, and clear in her presentation.
The development of our youth has been demonstrated by this significant investment in the refurbishment and the equipping of these laboratories. The impact of this investment will go beyond the walls of this institution, as it will enable students to acquire the practical knowledge and skills they need to succeed in the children's fields.
To the delight of the guests, the students performed some cultural dances.
We stand proud and honored to commission the MTN Foundation Science and Technology Laboratory project. This project would provide a platform for young science and technology enthusiasts to hone their skills, aspire, and achieve excellence that Lagos State and MTN indeed represent.
It's now time for the official launch of the laboratories. And the chairman of the foundation leads others as they tour the remodeled facilities.
MTN is supporting education because I believe education is actually at the core of what should be our major priority as a country. The effects may not be immediate. In the next 10, 15, 20 years is when you see the effects. So some of what you see today has to do with what happened 20, 30 years back. In terms of what it does to education as a whole, it's fantastic.
MTN Foundation says it is committed to partnering with public and credible private organizations to execute sustainable projects in health education and economic empowerment in Nigeria.
That's it from Abuja, the nation's capital. It's back to Ayatunde in Lagos with the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Victor. Coronation Group Limited, that's a leading African financial services holding company, has announced that it has obtained a capital market holding company license from the Securities and Exchange Commission. With this pioneering step, Coronation has now transitioned to a licensed group structure, solidifying its position as an investment management powerhouse in the African region. The chairman of Coronation Group, Mr. Aigboje Imokwede, disclosed this during his investiture ceremony as honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers.
This is a convergence of players from the capital market community for the investiture ceremony of Mr. Aigboje Imokwede as an honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers.
Honorary fellow of the Institute.
The honor represents a significant milestone with the launch of Coronation Group Limited.
So I'm pleased to announce that I have planted another tree. This tree is called Coronation, an investment management conglomerate encompassing most aspects of financial services. We established the Coronation Group ecosystem with the objective simply of democratizing access to wealth, access to investments, access to insurance, and empowering individuals to achieve financial security and be able to create financial legacies. The power of compounding in the hands of the poor man can take that poor man from poor to, at worst, middle.
Then came an array of goodwill messages.
Ike is a global player, so I'm really happy that he's been recognized today, that we accorded this award, and I believe that this will encourage him to do more.
When you are ready to do strategy or to go to war, you cannot have a better person than Ike to be in your corner.
And then a closing bell ceremony is hosted in honor of Mr. Aigboje. The MD and CEO of Coronation Group Limited, Wole Onosoya, speaks on the company's partnerships.
Coronation Group has 13 companies. 7 of them are capital market subsidiaries. So we have a private equity business, we have trustees, asset management, securities trading. We have a digital venture building business. We also have a technology business. So then we have affiliates. We have a merchant bank. We have 3 insurance companies, 1 in Ghana and 2 in Nigeria. And across these companies, what we're looking to do is provide integrated financial services solutions for customers, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa.
With $200 million of its own capital, Coronation Group Limited stands among the most prominent privately owned players on the continent. The company expects to deploy $500 million of its own capital in the business by 2033, further solidifying its position as an African leader.
Let's catch up with Joke Rogers now, who's standing by for business news. Joke?
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thanks, Ayo. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's Debt Management Office has warned the federal government against additional borrowing as the country's high debt service to revenue ratio is unsustainable. According to a statement released by the Debt Office, 73.5% of this year's revenue will be used to service debt. According to the Debt Office, Nigeria's total public debt to GDP ratio is projected to increase to 37.1% in 2023, mainly due to new borrowings, federal government ways and means at the CBN, and estimated promissory notes issuance. Meanwhile, the Debt Office recommends a focus on increasing revenue generation to achieve a sustainable debt service to revenue ratio and projected revenue from 10.49 trillion naira to about 15.5 trillion naira. Meanwhile, the federal, state and local governments have received 786.1 billion naira as revenue allocation for May from the Federation Account Allocation Committee. According to a document released by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, the federal government received 261 billion naira from the total disbursement. State governments got 132.73 billion naira, while local government councils received 102.33 billion. Meanwhile, oil-producing states got 22.85 billion naira as 13% mineral revenue. The Nigeria Labour Congress is demanding that the federal government immediately halts the proposed 40% increase in electricity tariffs set to commence on July 1, 2023. In a statement signed by its president, Joe Ajero, the NLC condemned the planned increase, which it says will be further detrimental to the livelihoods of Nigerians who are already struggling with the challenge of the removal of subsidy on fuel, rising inflation, as well as the impacts of higher exchange rate on the naira. Labour wants the government to justify the proposed tariff increase with affordability and quality of service. And the local stock market recorded its first decline this week as 61.36 billion naira was knocked off from the total value of equities listed by profit-taking investors. John Mekwa has more.
Thank you so much, Joke. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, a close shave, but the market breadth was positive at the close of Thursday's trade as 33 stocks gained relative to 31 losers, and that's why the bear is in charge of the market. But the all-share index is there, right there, almost 0.2% in the red. That's in spite of that positive market breadth at 59,211.26, but the market cap is still at 32 trillion naira. The activity chart shows that volume went down today about 28%. There you have it. Good enough value has recovered at least a bit, 6.61 billion, even though volume is in red, as well as deals still hanging around 7,000. Looking at the sectors, oil and gas is still doing good. MRS gained about 5 naira to close at 79 naira. Eternal oil also gained to close at 14 naira 80 kobo. O&O also gained just about 12 kobo to close at 5 naira 53 kobo. And then we see oil and gas not as green as it was yesterday, but almost 0.5% in the green there. Banking is still down 0.63%. The fugas are still down there. A lot of profit taking going on them. Consumer goods recovered 0.06%. So it's negative, but it's really close to the edge. I don't know which way we will go tomorrow. All you have to do is watch this space, and we'll let you know at the close of trade tomorrow. John Mekwa, back to you, Joke.
Thank you so much, Ini. More market news for you. This time we'll go over to the global stock markets to see how Thursday trading session ended. That's business news. Ayo, back to you.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you so much, Joke. All 5 crew members of the missing submersible are believed to be dead. Head of the missing OceanGate Titan submersible hunt, Rear Admiral Moga, said he cannot confirm whether or not the U.S. Coast Guard will be able to locate the bodies of the victims. The tragic news comes after an international search operation. Contact with the sub was lost on Sunday as it made a descent to the Titanic shipwreck. 5 major pieces of the submarine were discovered amid the debris around the Titanic site in what is presumed to have been caused by a catastrophic implosion. Here's Simon Pusey with more on this and other international stories and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Time is running out for the missing crew members on board the Titan submarine that went missing on Sunday while on a dive to the wreck of the Titanic. The search area has been expanded, with aircraft and ships as well as remotely operated vehicles combing around 10,000 square miles of ocean. Contact with the sub, which has 5 people on board, was lost on Sunday as it made a descent to the Titanic wreck. The search operation is made up of US and Canadian agencies, navies and commercial deep-sea firms, which all have different capabilities. But based on estimates of the Titan submersible's initial supply, the missing crew may only have a few hours of oxygen left. Meanwhile, it's emerged that experts raised safety concerns about the Titan submarine back in 2018.
4,000 meters deep, there are only 10 vehicles in the whole world that can go 4,000 meters or deeper, and all of them are certified except the Titan. So it is an outlier. Experts in the industry at the conference voiced concern, what are we going to do? This is very risky. We understand the strategy, but it is very risky for everybody.
Russian officials say Ukraine has attacked a bridge linking southern Ukraine to the Crimean Peninsula with long-range British-made missiles. The Russian-installed governor in occupied Kherson said the 2 parallel Konar bridges were both damaged, but no one was hurt. The bridge is the shortest route from Crimea to the front line in the south. It is also an important link to the occupied city of Melitopol, which lies on the coastal route from the Russian border across southern Ukraine to Crimea. The executive director of the Darfur Network for Human Rights says an increasing number of Sudanese civilians fleeing El Guinea, a city in Darfur hit by repeated militia attacks, have been killed or shot as they tried to escape by foot to Chad. The violence in El Guinea over the past 2 months has been driven by militias from Arabic nomadic tribes, along with members of the Rapid Support Forces. Medical charity MSF said some 15,000 people had fled West Darfur over the previous 4 days, and it said many arrivals reported seeing people shot and killed as they tried to escape. The war that erupted in April has uprooted more than 2.5 million people, that's according to UN estimates, mainly from the capital and from Darfur. French President Emmanuel Macron is hosting world leaders and experts in Paris for a climate summit aiming to pin down a roadmap for easing the debt burden to low-income countries while freeing up more funds for climate financing. The summit brings dozens of leaders together to forge a top-level consensus on how to progress a number of initiatives currently struggling in bodies like the G20, IMF, World Bank and United Nations. Though binding decisions are not expected, officials involved in the summit's planning said that some strong commitments should be made about financing poor countries.
Today, in most low-income countries, the headaches of government is not to think about development, but to think about how we can manage debt. All our effort is to manage debt instead of focusing on development. As if dealing with all these crises were not difficult enough, we also faced devastating climate effect.
A gas explosion at a barbecue restaurant in China's northwestern Ningxia region has killed 31 people. Video shows smoke and flames rising from the restaurant as firefighters worked to extinguish the fire. Local media say the blast in Yinchuan, the capital of Ningxia, was caused by a leaking liquefied petroleum gas tank at the restaurant. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel studios in Lagos.
Thank you so much, Simon. It's now time for sports news with Jeffrey Uzono.
Thanks, Ayotunde, and it's time for sports. Strict guidelines to regulate the establishment of football academies in the country are to be introduced by the Nigeria Football Federation. And this follows the proliferation of football academies without approval to operate, fueling allegations of trafficking in persons and exploitation of young players. Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee has withdrawn its recognition of boxing's governing body, the IBA, but says the sport will be on the program at the 2024-2028 Games in Paris and Los Angeles. The IOC Executive Board voted by 69 votes to 1, with 10 abstentions, to expel the International Boxing Association from the Olympic movement, an action the IBA is strongly against.
Thank you. You can see that we have an extremely serious problem with IBA because of their governance. Because we value the sport of boxing so much, we believe that these athletes, the boxers, fully deserve to be governed by an international federation with integrity and transparency. You have accepted the recommendation of the IOC Executive Board concerning the status of IBA.
From top seed Carlos Alcaraz has powered into the Queen's Club Championship quarterfinals with a dominant straight-set win over Czech Jiří Loheka. The Spanish world number 2 eased to a 6-2, 6-3 victory and will be up against Bulgarian Grigor Dimitrov in his next match.
Games the match, Alcaraz.
And elsewhere, Yannick Sinner came out in an all-Italian clash against Lorenzo Sonego to reach the quarterfinals of the Harley Grass Court tournament earlier today. The world number 9 saved all 8 breakpoints he faced to clinch a top 6-7, 6-4, 6-4 second-round triumph and will be facing Alexander Bublik in his next match. And that's it on Sports Ayotunde. It's back to you.
Many thanks, Jeffrey. And the main news again. A witness called by the presidential candidate of the PDP, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, at the election petition court today, accused the electoral umpire INEC of deleting results captured on all BVAS machines inspected. President Bola Tinubu has assured foreign investors at the ongoing summit for New Global Financing Pact in Paris that Nigeria is ready for business, and he promised that the ongoing economic reforms will be sustained. And members on board the Titan submersible that went missing on Sunday while on a dive to the wreck of Titanic are now presumed dead. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Do have a good night.